Welcome back to the Qlik MCP Cordon Green Culinary School of Agenic Awesomeness. This is Chef Qlik Dork, and I hope that you're well rested and caffeinated up, all you little sous chefs. No matter what the subject matter is, you know the Course 100 is always foundational. No exception here at the Cordon Green. You need to understand this if you're going to be creating any recipes with Chef Claude and Qlik MCP. As always, no microwaves here. We're going to be putting our hearts into this dish, and you're going to find out in this video exactly why I say that. So let me begin and get you into it. First, this is a developer level course. If that isn't you, stay out of my kitchen. You know the old saying. Any great chef, or heck, and even mediocre chef for that matter, knows that the secrets of great restaurant is in the secret sauce. But that's it. Yeah, as you can guess, if you're just serving ragu on all your food, then diners probably won't be coming back, or at least they're not going to be willing to pay the prices that you need in order to make a living from it. Great chefs always know that as you're making a sauce, you're experimenting constantly, and sometimes it can be messy. A little too much of this, not enough of that. But you can't give up after your first try, or let's face it, your restaurant's really just never going to open. In this video, I'm going to walk you through just what I mean by secret sauce when it comes to working with Chef Claude. I mean, after all, we're not actually making spaghetti sauce here. We're trying to develop code that works for people. As you will see initially in this video, it's going to get a little bit messy. Others would have hidden that mess and just showed you the final dish and like, ooh, wow, you should be impressed with me. But Chef Qlik Dork isn't trying to make the food for you. He wants to ensure that as a sous chef, you understand that that mess is inevitable, and he wants to help you figure out how to clean that up. Because you may have 35 years of experience building Qlik applications by hand, but Qlik MCP is new, my friends, and you are new to a development approach that involves a co-creation methodology where you're working side by side with Chef Claude. When I say I'd like you to bring your own secret sauce with you when you try to prepare meals with Chef Claude, here's what I mean. If I ask a question like this, can you quickly create a new sheet for me in my hospital readmissions application with some objects on it because someone is screaming I need to build a new one? Chef Claude is more than happy to go prepare that meal for you. He's going to go find the application that you've asked about. Once he finds it, he's going to try to figure it out, see if that sheet already exists, if he needs to grab another one or something. And he says, hey, let me go create an overview sheet. And let me take a look at this. And wow, that's awesome, man. He put some readmission numbers on there. He put a rate for HRRP admissions. And he's going to go through and create the sheet. You've seen demos like this. This is pretty powerful when it comes to a demo in terms of what it can do to save you time. What you got to stop and think about when I say I want you to bring your own secret sauce, is this the meal that you wanted to prepare? Is this what you would hand your diners? Like if you owned a restaurant, would you be happy just throwing out a raw chicken breast on a plate? Ooh, I can save time and do it, but is that really what you'd want to do? So I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to show you what I mean by your secret sauce. In terms of secret sauce within Claude, these things are called skills. So I'm going to give it a skill, and these are all going to be in my Qlik community post. You're going to download these things. I'm going to say, I'd like you to load this skill so I can add my own secret sauce to the recipe. All right. And we'll just, whatever it is that we're going to say that we want to do. And he's going to go load that skill set up. And there's going to be some things in there that we'll talk about once he gets these up here. He said, hey, that's fantastic. You're ready to go. The first thing that we want to know is, hey, do you really want to go quickly? Do you want the microwave meal? Or do you want to have the Chef Qlik Dork help you prepare your meal with love? If you've been watching my videos at all, every single video I start with, no microwaves here, folks. We're preparing this with love. So now let me ask that same question now that my secret sauce is in the recipe. Chef Claude and I are working together. He's still starting with the chicken breast. He's just going to do some much different things with it, right? Because I'm not just looking to save time. The paradigm shift here is I'm going to do something besides just save time while I'm at it. Well, it's asking me, do I want the microwave version or the Qlik Dork version? And of course, we're always going to go with what Chef Qlik Dork recommends. Perfect. So, first thing it says is, what charts do you want on the screen that I need to slap on there quick? No. It asks the common question that we should have asked. Probably we've created 193 sheets in the past because we never really stopped to think, who is the audience for this? What story am I trying to tell? I'm not trying to save myself a minute by slapping 4 charts on the screen. This is for a financial audience. So if I say this is for a financial audience, it's going to come back and it's going to try to help me. It's going to use that wisdom of the world that it's tapping into and say, hey man, look here, chef. If you're preparing this for a financial audience, you don't want to just show them normal readmission rates, readmission numbers, length of stays being over by 0.2703 days. That's not what's going to get them out of their chairs. And so it would ask me for these values, and I can say, hey, I'm going to give you the values, or hey, use your defaults. I will look up our real numbers, right? But I don't have them right now. This is a demo video. We're just going to try to do this for now, right? So it's going to take those numbers, and what it's going to do instead now is it's going to prepare a sheet. But gosh, it's not even ready to create a sheet yet. Because again, we're not in a hurry. We are trying to do something that's going to be consumed, that's going to be adopted, and by golly, that's going to drive action. The 194th sheet that I could create in 10 seconds doesn't do anything about trying to make sure that we get action. Well, it's saying, what template do you want to use? And I've created 3 that are just obviously different. In your environment, you would modify my rule and you'd create other templates instead. I did some really simple things like, hey, here's an analysis. It's got some KPIs at the top. It's got 2x3 grid of charts with a detail table on the bottom, a filter panel on the left. Or I could do it for data literate folks where I start throwing scatter plots and sand keys and whatever I want. Or I could go full on geek mode for data scientists in the crowd with box plots. Well, let's just say we're going to go with analysis mode. We just want that. That's probably the right data literate format for our financial people anyway. Well, now it's going off and creating a sheet for me. Only this time, it's going to create this sheet and it's going to show me the information that they would need to use instead. They want to see these numbers. All right, I'm going to let this go. While this is generating, you're going to see that there's some problems here. Hey, this was fantastic. This one isn't. And so if I go look at this, it says, hey, this should be where the sum of the 30-day readmission equals yes times 15,000. Well, hey, that should work. But here's the problem. Yeah, that field doesn't equal yes and no like you would think. It's a 1 and a 0. I kind of changed the data on purpose, but it's looking at that, those things, but it at least has given me the format. Well, I could have, now it's going to try to do a rule where it's going to try to validate these things. And so it would come back. But there's other rules that I've given you. I had given you other rules. We just didn't apply them in this session, right? We brought some secret sauce. We just didn't bring any quality check secret sauce. notice that it was getting to my rule here about, hey, it's 1 or 0 instead. And so now it's saying, ooh, now I need to really convert these functions, right? And so I'm not so worried about that. We're going to stop that for now. All right, you get the idea. We brought some secret sauce with us to the party. We got some things done. The reason I gave you 6 categories of rules is to try to prevent this. And so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to delete this, and we'll start in a new session. And I'm going to say, what skills do you have active for me? Because I want you to see that that sheet creation skill we loaded up in that other session isn't here anymore. So it's saying I've got one thing. I'm going to say, what's in that sheet creation skill? And so here it's saying, hey, you could upload that. So it remembered in context that in another session we had a sheet creation rule, but that sheet creation rule isn't available right here. Well, what I don't want you to have to do is upload those each time. And so the reason I did it this way is to show you that you will go to your settings, and instead of under our capability are our skills, and these things are now repeatable across all of your sessions. So you can play with the skill in any one to try to get things perfect. We didn't in that one isolated skill. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and add, and I can simply drag or drop all my skills. Hey, I want to drag this master item skill. And in that master item skill, I'm saying, I always want you to use master items. Don't create expressions on the fly. When you create it, you better validate that number. Oh, yes, I want that sheet creation skill across all my sessions. I might be doing load script creation. I want you to have that load script creation. I need you to have this validation skill that verifies your work before it gets added. Ooh, I want to have skills about question asking that says if I ask you a question about data, I need you to give me the rules of what you use. What fields did you make assumptions on? Like what date value did you use? What ACV value did you use? What region or name or description values did you use? And oh, by the way, I've got that one other skill set out there, a presentation skill that I've given you on the Qlik community post. And so now as I come down through here, you'll see that I've got a whole set of skills. So now I'm going to go ahead and go to a new session again. And we're going to create a brand new chat. And I'm going to paste that exact same question in there again. And if we did our job right, I'm going to remove this chart. Let's see what happens here. He says, hey, I've got a rule here about whether you want microwave style or whether you want Qlik Dork style. And again, we're going with Qlik Dork, of course. Right now, this is going to be applicable on every single session that we do. Again, this is about financial. And again, he'll ask me for some values that he thinks. These questions that are asking as a part about target audiences and values, those would be applicable to your application. So don't think I've hard-coded this in for just readmissions. Now, he didn't present to me the values that time, but let me ask him. Okay? And so even if he doesn't present, I can say, could you use industry defaults? Maybe this is for um, uh, in insurance industry or retail industry, and there's different standards and defaults. I'm going to tell it that I want type 1, which is the analysis type. You've seen that before. Now let's see what happens when he creates this application. Notice that he's already going out there to look for master items or dimensions in case they're not defined already. If it's needed, he's going to go create those ones on the fly for me. And so now if I look at this financial report, let's see what ends up happening here. He's going to go ahead and add the filter first. Now he's going to go ahead and put some of these financial KPIs. Now notice this time he's given us good values, right? Your secret sauce is always a trial and error process. Nobody at home just starts throwing stuff into a pot and magically they've picked every perfect blend of spices, right? So we went through here a little bit to try to create this. Now, we did get an invalid dimension there. There must be some other rule about what we would need to do, and we'd have to figure that out and add it to our set of rules. But you can see here, I've gotten pretty close to where not only can I create a screen on the fly to save me time, I can create a screen on the fly that is actually going to get used.